What's going on, guys? My name is Jake, and today we're going to be doing a BMX buying guide. This video is for everyone who wants to buy a BMX bike but doesn't know what to buy, what to get, what's good. This is for basically people who are unfamiliar with BMX but want to start riding and get into BMX bikes. This guide is also good for parents too, so we're going to jump right into the video and start off. The first thing you want to do is decide if you're buying a complete bike or a custom bike. I want to explain the differences right now. So a complete bike is one where you go to the store and you go buy the bike from the store, maybe buy it online and put it together. A custom bike is when you build the bike yourself. This bike right here is a custom built bike. Everything's to his liking. He chose every single part on this bike and put it together himself. The first thing on everyone's mind is the price. Custom bikes are a lot more than complete bikes, but you gotta buy everything yourself. Custom bikes, you can build everything to your liking. So you can customize all the colors, all the parts you want, what kind of stem you want, what kind of bars, what kind of grips, what this whole thing is about, but it costs a lot of money. But on the other hand, if you buy a complete or stock bike, you can always change out the parts and eventually make it custom by slowly adding parts to your bike, or you could just wait until they break and buy some. They don't always break, but they could. Obviously, the custom bike is a lot stronger than the regular bike because these are all aftermarket parts and everything is more expensive. A complete bike can still be reliable. It can hold up to your riding and not break. Now that you decided if you want to buy a complete bike or a custom bike, you got to decide what kind of bike you want to get. In BMX, there's typically 4 types of riding, and you want to customize a bike to the riding that you're going to do. There is racing, there is street, there's park, and there's flatland. You got to decide which one you want to do. And basically, you can buy a BMX bike and you can use these for park, street, and flatland. But racing is a whole nother different story, and I don't know much about it, so we're not going to cover it that much in this video. But flatland is a little bit different, but you can normally use street bikes in park settings too. But flatlands, sometimes flatlands have different frames and different types of brakes and stuff like that. So that's something you want to look into if you want to do flatland. This is probably the most important section in this video. This is going to be what to look for when you're buying a BMX bike. If you're buying it online especially, because these are all in the description of the bike, you want to make sure it's nice and solid and will hold up to your riding. If you're buying from a local bike shop, always ask the owners for a parts list or something like that. You can just look up the bike online before you buy it from the local bike shop. The material you want most of the bike to be built out is chromoly. Definitely didn't say that right. Chromoly. I just can't say that word. I'm sorry. The material is super strong and is better than the other materials they use because they can break easily. So that's the best material for most of the bikes to be built out of. Next thing you want to look for is an integrated headset because they're the most reliable headset. If you look at this red piece, that is a sign of an integrated headset right here. That's how you tighten the headset so the bars don't move and they spin properly. An integrated headset will cause the least problems and is the most reliable. Most BMX bikes come with integrated headsets. Some come with star nuts, but that's alright too, kind of. It's not the best, but it's not bad. Do not get it like a standard headset or anything like that. That's just plain bad. The next thing you want to look for in a bike is if it has 3-piece cranks. For these cranks. I don't know how to do it. Alright, this part right here is the crank, which attaches to the pedal. You want 3-piece because they're the strongest, easy to fix, easy to tighten, and they're the most reliable. You don't want 1 piece. 1 piece is just bad. Going along with the cranks, you want to make sure you have a mid-bottom bracket, and you got to make sure it's sealed. Normally, most mid-bottom brackets are 19 millimeters, and that's really good. Some are 22. Don't buy a Spanish. I don't think anyone uses a Spanish bottom bracket anymore. Don't buy a standard bottom bracket either. Just make sure it's mid. I'm going to reiterate, it has to be sealed. You want sealed parts. If not, dirt gets in them, they don't work properly, and they're sealed. Next thing you want to look for is definitely the wheels. For the rims, double wall is better. They're stronger, they hold up more, but single wall is okay. If you're more experienced at riding, you probably won't watch this video, but if you're a beginner, yeah, single wall is just perfectly fine for you. You're not going to damage it. Next up is the hubs. The hub is this red part in the middle of the wheel. This is what makes it spin. So the hub, you gotta make sure the hub is sealed. And some bikes are left-hand drive or right-hand drive. This means what side the chain's on. It doesn't matter if the back hub's left-hand drive or right-hand drive. That just means what side the chain's on and sprockets on and stuff like that. I have left-hand drive because I grind on the right side, and this helps me not damage my sprocket or chain by grinding. So I just do that for extra protection, but you can buy hub guards or a big sprocket. If you're like new, you won't like damage it in like 2 days, you know, probably maybe damage it in a couple years, but nothing like soon when you get your bike. I reiterate, make sure the front and back hubs are sealed. You just don't want dirt getting in them and they're going to work improperly. You want sealed bottom bracket, sealed hubs. Normal BMX bikes have like 20-inch wheels, so you just make sure they're 20-inch wheels, not massive, like 25, 26, or 18 or something like that. Another important thing when you're looking to buy a bike is if it's a cassette or a free coaster. When you begin, I recommend a cassette when riding. But you could buy a free coaster, but normally free coaster bikes are more money. A cassette is when you go backwards, you pedal backwards with the bike. When you do backwards tricks, you gotta pedal. But on a free coaster, you don't have to pedal backwards when you do backwards trick. You may be thinking to yourself, why not just buy a free coaster? But free coaster has its disadvantages. For example, you hit slack. I have a whole video talking about it. I will link it here. So if you want to get a free coaster cassette thinking about it, just click over here in this corner or this eye right here. Especially if you're a parent, you want to know if the bike has brakes or not. I personally have not rode brakes for like 5 years. I just don't like them. I mean, I just have a personal preference where they like get in the way and they bother me. But if you have a kid who's just starting riding, you just want to get him a BMX bike, I would recommend brakes for him. You can always take him off eventually if he wants to, but you gotta think about that, brakes or no brakes. Definitely when buying a BMX bike, check the weight. You don't want a bike that's like 50 pounds. You want to make sure it's decently light. Especially if you go to a bike shop, just feel it and make sure it's not like 50 pounds or something like that. Make sure the weight is to your liking. Maybe research some other bikes and see what weight's good or what weight is not good. The next part is important when buying a BMX bike. You want to know what size bike you want. I'm 6'3" and I ride a 21-inch frame. Anybody taller can ride a 21-inch frame, like 6 feet, maybe 5'11" if they want. Or you can ride a little bit bigger than that if you want. Or you can ride a 20-inch. I don't know what that height range for 20 inches. I don't know if you're comfortable on it. But if you're a little kid and you're like 9, 10, you might want to get an 18-inch bike if you're not that tall. And then switch to a bigger bike when you're older, when you get taller. Because my friend had an 18-inch and then he switched when he got older and taller. If you think you're going to be in the riding for a really long time, just get a 20-inch so you don't have to buy another bike when he grows a couple inches taller. If you're over 5 feet, I think you can ride a 20-inch. Especially 5'5", like 20 inches is fine for you guys. One of the most important things that helps determine a bike is your price range. If you have $100, you're probably not going to buy the best quality bike because $100 isn't a lot of money for a bike. I have a frame over here on this bike over here because it was like custom. It was custom. You can't really see it, but in my other videos I have videos on it. But the frame over there costs $315. But I got a discount and stuff like that. But that's for like a custom frame. So that just tells you that you probably won't get that good bike for $100. But if your price range is more from $250 to $400, you can get a really good bike for that amount of money. So now that you got all this information, you're wondering, where can I get a bike like this? First of all, I'll link some bikes in the description below that are worth checking out. I recommend going to is a local bike shop, especially if they specialize in BMX, because they can help you pick out the right bike, pick out the size, make sure it's nice and strong, make sure it's reliable, because they normally know what they're talking about at bike shops. Especially if they specialize in BMX bikes, they can really help you out. If you don't have a local bike shop, you can just go online. Definitely do not go to Walmart or Kmart or Stop and Shop or some other weird place like the dollar store to buy a BMX bike, because They're not good, they're not reliable, they don't have any of the things I talked about in this video. They're just plain bad, and they'll break easily if you start doing tricks on them. I do not recommend Walmart bikes or dollar store bikes or Kmart bikes or name brand stores like the ones I named bikes. You want to go to a local bike shop or a bike shop or online to a BMX website that will have high quality bikes for good prices. Another thing to remember, if there's a BMX bike that has pegs on it already, you might want to look into that, because pegs can be expensive if you want to start grinding. But if you have no intention to grind or do flat land, you don't need pegs. But if you do, see if there's a bike with them on them. These pegs can be rather expensive. If you want 4 pegs, some pegs are like $20 each, or some pegs are like $12 each, and 4 pegs adds up to a bunch of money. And one final tip is, if you have a local bike shop, make sure you test ride it and make sure it's comfortable for you. Just make sure everything's good with it, you like how it looks, you like how it feels, and that's it. I really hope this BMX buying guide helped you. I hope you buy the right BMX bike now. I will post some bikes and websites in the description below if you want to go check those out. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. You can comment any questions below and I will try my best to answer them. Please subscribe to my channel for more BMX related content. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, share with a friend. I hope you guys get the BMX bike you want. Thank you guys so much. Bye.